you one more again. I hope everybody's doing blessed. I'm doing blessed and highly favored, and definitely hope the same for you. And your first time stopping by my channel, much love to you and welcome. And to my returning subs, my growing extended beautiful family, just thank you so much for the continued support. It is so appreciating towards my way that you're constantly supporting the videos and you're showing me love, and towards others as that is connected with the channel is truly a blessing. So with that being said, much love to all. Namaste. Love and blessings, love and light, and many blessings are definitely coming your way. And if you have been watching my videos for a while and have not already, please like and subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when I'm about to upload my next video. Also, if you're comfortable enough, drop me a line or two. I would love the chance for me to get to know you as much as you're getting to know me, even if it's about the positive feedback of the content of my video, or you're just telling me about your empathic gift, how it impacted your life and heading you towards a positive direction. And if you are feeling like the videos are informative or just give you good vibes, or uplifts you in some kind of way that you would love to share with the loved one, family, or a friend, or even a fellow empath, they're going through trying times at the moment, or needing confirmation or validation towards life path or even soul purposes, please go ahead and share. And while you're at it, give your girl a thumbs up, like, and also share on your social media favorites wherever you see fit. And thank you so much for love and support. It's so greatly appreciated. And I hope that you're able to resonate with the content of my video. And the meditation music that I'm listening to in the background is called Binaural Beats. Pineal gland, third eye awakening warning, visual and auditory. Um, was it 936 hertz of stimulation, and I will post that link in the description box below. And the video I'm doing today is called Twin Flame 101. Heyokas, you are partaking in a birth that took many millennials to take place, being guided of that the narrative shift. And it's so true. We are that generation that they're partaking in, severing tides to a toxic, toxic, much need to learn, karmic cycles and generational curses, and a lot of times that, what we're dealing with is no walk in the park. It's not like you're smelling roses throughout the day and he and ha ha. There's a lot of things that you are, having to come to terms with. There's a lot of things that you needed to make peace with. Even through the most saddest times, you're finding, you're learning trauma of truth that is strengthening you. A lot of things is taking place. I look at my life a lot throughout my life. And there are certain things that I used to look at, that has taken place in my life that has really shook me to the core. Being able to look at the truth, and it wasn't that pretty. It was downright, it almost made me lose my mind. But I did lose my mind, but I was able to put it back together as way I saw fit. People always controlled my thoughts, controlled how I spoke, controlled how I live my life, wanting me to dull myself down, wanting others to see me how they wanted, how they choose to see me because of insecurities. But also through these things, I can really appreciate my downfalls, my traumas, my hurts, my pain, my failures, my mistakes, my setbacks. And when you're allowing yourself to see every connection, or every connection, or whether it's dealing with a situation or a person, or just, being able to learn things through, pain and anguish, anything that has, really put you in a bad place or even a dark place, that where you needed to be sheltered from the storm or strengthened through your storm. It made you birth out a person that, that you were molded to be. You're that evolution of empaths. Heyokas are very powerful. A lot of times, there's certain, empaths that, it's like, oh, y'all think y'all all that. No, it's not all about that. It's just how we end up going about things that made us the ish, and it is because we took the most hardest way to go about things, hardest way to acknowledge things, how to let go of things, being able to see the truth within the storms, and you were guided from that shift, that negative shift that has taken place, but also in towards a narrative one, where you can see that every downfall you had inspired you to be a stronger person. And a lot of times, it's a day by day basis. You can't allow yourself to say that every day after, when you start making sense on why things are the way they are, or a lot of times you put that heavy energy in things that you were only supposed to just glance at and allow that to teach you toward the depth of that circumstance or that situation that has taken place. But a lot of times we put emotion in that, constantly giving ourselves those reminders of what we weren't even supposed to hold on to, but we end up choosing to hold on to them because that's something that you have dealt with for a long time. A lot of times if you've been with me for a while, you have heard me say a lot of times we hold on to our pain like a security blanket. It became our best friend. And we've been so used to hurt and pain for so long. You allowed yourself to seek comfort in that, and that's not what was supposed to take place. You had to be able to allow yourself to learn from the things that you know every person is connecting with you pretty much the same way, that you needed to learn the depth of why this had to take place. As soon as I said that, I had a notification came up, so I know I'm on the right path. And I mean, it's just like when I look at things like that, and it's just allowing me to make peace, because I said if I'm not going to allow myself to drive myself crazy because of all the things that's taken place when you know my children were turned against me, about the things that has taken place in my life. This situation had narrowed me down, like to where I was really by myself and I felt alone, like nobody understood the pain that have endured, but also how the universe used me as an example for me to be able to use the things that has taken place in my life that turned my life completely upside down. But I can actually appreciate that because it allowed me to place myself and mold myself to what I choose to be. I always tell people, don't dull your light for nobody. Allow yourself to be guided from the power of strength that you hold. A long time, people have told you not to allow people to know what you truly are, or you can allow yourself to be vocal about the things that you stand for, or it's just like certain things you're able to know and be. People say those things don't exist, and a lot of people, they fear what they can't explain. When you can't come with a logical situation, they say it's not existed, or they try to give you some kind of mental label for the things that you're able to do. I've connected with a lot of people. They were like, Roslynn, I'm so glad you did certain videos, because I really thought I was losing my mind. There's a lot of things people have said when they could not explain what you are. And a lot of times, if you're not spiritually woke, they won't be able to understand what you are. They don't see your purpose. They don't understand your purpose. Like I tell my kids all the time, it's like my middle one, she accepts her spirituality to a T. There's a lot of things like, mom, these certain things are bad, so I don't want to be that. You can't pick and choose what you don't want to be. If you see something from a different level and you're not seeing the blessing throughout those things, your life is going to be somewhat, rocky. But you have to allow yourself to, see, acknowledge what is taking place in your life. Allow yourself to see what's being guided towards you through hectic experiences. You're going through a labor upon labors. Like, this is something that had to take place like right now. There's a lot of people that are dealing with a lot of dark situations right now, and it's been very heavy, where you probably don't close yourself off and became anti. Like, you were already anti, but it really made you anti. It's just so many people, I connect with on a strong level, but it's like I don't even take offense of it if I don't really talk to them for like about 2 weeks, because I understand that what you're dealing with, this is something that you have to close yourself off for and try to understand what's taking place in your life. And it can be, a lot of times it's not a pretty sight, because it's all about how you choose to look at it, all about how you allow yourself to make peace with what is taking place in your life. And a lot of times we hold on to those painful situations like that's something to, like, hey, this is my side piece pain. But I got that side piece back here to call neglect and abandonment. But my main one is anguish and anger and neglect. And you don't need to allow yourself to take those side pieces. You need to allow yourself to make peace with them side pieces and aim to what really matters in your life: joy, happiness, upliftment, being able to allow your struggle to be your milestone, your achievement, because there's so many things that you are being led to use as an example towards many others. Like my situation, my different circumstances that I've been placed in, especially of being who I'm related to, it is really hard to deal with at times. Um, the truth is starting to be seen towards people that didn't want to acknowledge that, hey, that doesn't have anything to do with me. Not something to brag or boast about, but it's just like anybody else that express their sadness through losing a parent. you know some people are bothered by that when I share different things, or I share my feelings about losing my father or whatever. And those are the things I had to allow myself to just basically being able to be honored and proud of the accomplishments my dad has partaked in. Just being able to see how he has pushed a lot of envelopes, and he changed a lot of different things in life that was hard for other people to do. So I'm very extremely proud of my dad for doing the things he has done in life, and especially has been able to help me telepathically, spiritually, being able to help me guide through change, even though I've endured so much growing up because of what I emulated of my dad, or I wanted to be like him, or even when I looked like him. It's like when it came to my mom always bragged about that. It's like I look just like my dad, I act just like him, and her ex didn't like that. And he stopped dealing with me to a certain extent because I was starting to look more and more like my dad. And I see my children, and they even look like my middle daughter. She looks just like my aunt Edna May. My oldest daughter, she looks a split image of my grandmother Maddie. And my daughter, at times it's kind of hard to look at her at times because it gets me very emotional, but she was she split an image of my dad when I last seen him when I was just a few days old. So there's a lot of times when I see her, especially when she wears her hair like him, and I'm just like, oh my God. And I can hear him in the side. He's like, ooh. He'll just look and just do that, and I'm like, yeah, daddy, I see it too. And it is kind of creepy, but it's a blessing that I can at least have people that, even though I wasn't able to physically connect to, even though I spiritually connect with them every day, it's a blessing. But and it's there are some people that are close to me and say, girl, your children, between you and your children, y'all look like just like everything. You look, your kids, between you and your children, you look like everybody that's in the immediate family. So I'm like, yeah, it's kind of weird, but hey, it happens like that. Jesus is just strong on the Nelson side. But all the different things that has taken place in my life, I've experienced is, it has changed me so drastically. And people are looking like, Roslynn, I've seen your videos when you first started until now. You have changed so much. And I can appreciate that change. When I first, it's hard for me to watch my videos, not just because I was just high. I tell people, I'm honest about that. Yeah, I used to smoke weed a lot. There are sometimes I did my videos high, because I was coming from a very bad place, knowing that, family knew this whole time, even though I was desperately wanting to have that closure of meeting my biological family. They kept me apart, because they got financial gain. They used my trust fund just to survive when me and my children stayed in poverty, you know. And that, I mean, that really hurt me, being able to think, because I love my mom's ex-husband, he was, my hero, but then he ended up turning out to be the monster in my closet as well as the person under my bed. But when I choose to allow myself to really see that truth, he was also my hero, to help me reflect and being able to see, you know, that power within me. I know my energy is shifting because it's like the color on my face is just changing like crazy. But it took me a long time for me to actually mention him and not get angry, not get mad, hold grudges, because it's like when I see him, I don't know who he is, because I'm like, you are not the person I knew growing up. But, those I didn't allow myself to see that because I pushed love on that so much. But then I had to allow myself to say, even know and acknowledge, he wasn't sent in my life to be that person that loved me. He was that person that was sent in my life to break me, to hurt me, to, abandon me, abuse me in every kind of way. But he was that person that stripped me away from everything that they molded me from where I truly needed to see for myself of who I truly was. I'm filled with magic. I'm filled with love. Upliftment towards others, showing love towards others as well as, in myself, you know, and I appreciate what he's done, and it took me a long time to say that because it's just like when I seen him, boy, you talk about, I was having mental funerals in my head every time I saw them about, how dare you, you mock me, when my dad would come by or send tickets or anything like that, or they always wanted to throw things in my face because they seen how bad my dad loved me. He had strong love for me. He made songs for me that they hated when I sung back to. I used to get hit anytime I would sing something that he knew that was for me. And and it was just like I had to understand they didn't feel that love from their fathers that that he had, my dad had for me, so they were very envious of that, so they wanted to break all connection they could possibly break, because they didn't feel that love that my dad showed me. So they tried to break that from me, and they thought they were going to succeed about that, but they didn't. And anytime I see the things that that I reflect strength. you know I'm very forward. I used to be very rude in the things that I said. I had that I don't give a dang, about how you felt, just as long as you knew my truth. But now I'm being very mindful, of how I speak about myself or I speak towards others. If somebody wants to come out of face with me, I can set them and put them in their place in a kind way and then keep it moving, or just not acknowledge them at all. So I'm grateful for everything that's taken place in my life that has changed me so drastically. I may have had bad, connections with my children, but I'm making that time to, to change that. Even though I can't change the past, it ended. Everything else ended with me. It ended. And it's just like I can see the change that took place in me. Like I said, I always tell people, hey, I don't go into depth about the things that I've endured, because of whose daughter I am, you know, um, but if I was to use it, it's in a positive sense, not to brag or, run things in the ground or anything like that, but being able to appreciate, the trauma I went through, to be able to show me the blessings that came out of that trauma, being able to use those different experiences to help other people look at their experiences. I know there's a lot of people I connect with is really went through some very abusive situations in their life, because that's what was sent to happen, and a lot of times we get in our feelings, and it's not, that's natural to be that way. Like, why did this have to happen to me like this? Why didn't you love me enough? Why couldn't you show me this love that every other parent shows, their children, or whatever? Why can I have a good upbringing like, the people I know around me have upbringings, but you weren't brought here for that. You had to go through different struggles. You had to be neglected in some kind of way. Basically for you to remember what the heck you were here for, what your purpose is, what mission you're about to partake in. And a lot of times, like I've said before, it can't be guided through you through kindness and love. Those acknowledgments had to come out of from brutal situations that has occurred in your life that really has shook you to the core, and that's what births something very unique. that the world is truly needing at that point. And when you're allowing yourself to get towards that point, that's an emotional moment for me, because I'm just like, dang, I felt so hateful towards certain situations and certain people, even when I showed nothing but love for people. And then when they found out I was telling the truth about things, you're talking about, it was a hurtful feeling. Like, I went out for people and went to bat, making sure they understood their path and understood their purpose. And in return, they tried to block me from things because all they saw was, money, all materialistic things. And it's just like, yeah, those are nice and all, but that's not everything in the world. But that's what people chose to see when they saw me, and it was very hurtful. It was very hurtful, but they played their part. That was something that I had to truly learn from a deeper level. And I can appreciate those things. I appreciate, that's why, I'm not that type of person that got to sit up here and cover up what, wasn't so, that showed me in a bright light or anything like that. I'm not, ashamed of the things that I've done in my past, because that's what made me the better person I am today. I allowed people to see me during my dark times. I allowed people to see me when I was in my emotions, because y'all see me cry. And I told y'all I hate crying on camera. But universe tells me you have to show the rawness in you. Allow them to see your goofy side. Allow them to see your pissed off side. And allow them to see your emotions when you're out on wits end and you're tired. Because all of us experience that, but not all of us is on camera doing that. A lot of times, you're probably on social media, and it's just like, I try not to put my personal business out there like that, because I used to do that. I was like, oh gosh, especially when stuff start coming up in memories, like, dang, I used to post stuff like this. And it's just like, I go ahead and delete it. But we all come from a part of our lives where things weren't too good at that moment. You were at wit's end. You're just tired of being tired of everything. You're drained in all different, levels, because of the things that you're enduring. But a lot of times we don't know it gets harder when you're not accepting what needs to be, or what has been, and what is no longer needed. A lot of times we don't realize that's the reason why things get so hard, because we choose to hold on to something that, universe is guiding us to let go of. But you had to allow yourself to really understand what things you're taking place in. You're not, you had to go on this journey where things is just, just downright bad for you. Everything was toxic. A lot of times we don't realize everything that's toxic, we add that ultimate element of toxic, because we have held on to things. We kept on focusing on that. We kept on talking about that. And I was like that. And I try to see, if I'm going to say anything about my past, I want to be able to say, these things has really helped me grow. These things is, even though it hurt me in so many different ways, it helped uplift me at the same time, that I can truly appreciate, because it's like, when I can see the situations within my life that has helped other people, you know, uh, because I always wonder, like, why did I have to learn this way? Why did I have to find out the identity of my dad, after the transition, and I mean, that really hurt me in so many different ways, because it's already sad when you lose a parent, or when you lose somebody that really meant dear to your heart. But then when it's somebody in a public eye, and there's so many different things that's taking place. And a lot of times it's like, I hear more people trying to see who's going to get the estate, which is not legal. They can't do anyway. So, it's still going to be the way it is. But more than, than who's being held accountable for him no longer being, or, who gave certain things to my dad, that knowing good and well that could be very fatal to him. And I mean, I've got my opinions about that, and I had my vibes about that. But, a time's gonna come about a change. Whatever has been done in the dark is gonna come to light. And it's just, it angered me, because I felt like, this is not fair. How is somebody, it's not even about the money to me, but it's more about the closure that I truly deserve, that people are trying to have their hands in to stop me from having. And it's just like, I used to get very hateful about that. Like, how would you feel If somebody did that to you, how would you feel? If somebody tried to keep you from something like this, but all they are seeing materialistic things, but not being able to see this man was never able to see his child, you know, having to, anytime he talked to her, he had to lie about who he was, and he hated that, so he would send me little messages, to be able to show me, hey, this is who I am to you, but everything has a way of happening the way it happens. You can't question God's purpose. You can't, and as soon as I said that, a notification came popping up. You can't question the way he has done things, because it's like there's a certain reason why things has taken its place in your life in that drastic way. Sometimes you'll get the answer from it, sometimes you won't. You have to just seek that peace whether or not you have that answer or not. you know Allow yourself to partake in allowing yourself to be in a loving place, because a lot of times our battles are in our thoughts, our mind, the vibrations that we keep. But they want you to be able to lead yourself towards that birth, because I mean that birth is really going to place you in something. If anybody that has listened to this as a mom, you know what it feels like just to be, going through that blessing of being able to carry a child, but going through those changes, emotional changes, hormonal changes, body pain changes. You know what that is. And you're giving a birth to a person the devil did not want to happen. He tried to make sure he had all type of stops, procrastination, distractions, want to keep on allowing yourself to be guided by your ego, or things that's taking place in your life that's really shook you. He wanted to do that. But also, God used the same situations to be able to strengthen you, being able to show you you're more powerful than things that is taking place in your life. You hold more weight in your power of strength than you do in the situation of struggles. You know, Trials and tribulations. Those are the things that is taking place in your life, but it's gonna help you also achieve the things they didn't want you to have in your life. So, don't allow your ego to guide you from something that you need to allow yourself to go through. Yeah, it's a harmful situation to go through. It's a hard situation to go through, but it's more harder to endure something and not allowing yourself to let change take place, and you staying in a situation that is no longer needing you to be in. So I'll take that minute of, heartbreak, pain, anguish, being pissed off, all those different things, but allowing myself to be guided towards blessings that's well deserving. Because they already got blessings that's coming towards you. As soon as I said that, notifications start popping up. Allowing yourself not to be distracted, allowing yourself not to be guided because somebody is threatened by your light, allowing yourself to keep going even when people are threatened by your strength, the truth. That's you. You're doing your part and they're doing theirs, but allow yourself to be doing better than what they are doing, trying to do to you. Allow yourself to be birthed, because it took many millenniums for you to get here, and you were that person that had that chalice of trials and tribulations passed down to you. So stuff got heavy for you, really damn heavy. But when I say that your ancestors are proud, because they know what you're dealing with right now is not something easy, but it's going to be damn definitely worth it. You are seeing change that's taking place on so many levels. It can seem scary, because hell, where everything is going on right now is downright scary. But you partaking in something that has not been done for years. Hell, it wasn't supposed to be done for years. A lot of things is being flipped upside down. You're giving love out in the most treacherous way that needed to take place. We had to be shook for us to appreciate the living. Okay, even though it's like when people have transitioned out, they're in a better place. Whatever they have passed away from, they don't have to deal with the burdens that we're still dealing with here. They're in a better place. It reminds me of that song, Sometimes When You're Sad and You're Really Missing Somebody. I forgot who the name of that group is. It's like, I'm jealous because you're happy of where you're at. It's some song like after the person died, they're in a better light. They're happy where they're at, and they feel jealous because they can't partake in that person's life like that because they're no longer amongst the living. It is, it's a really beautiful song. I remember I heard it on The Voice. from overseas or whatever. But that boy was like, he sung the heck out of that song. And I mean, it got me. But I understood, you had that jealousy of that person that you wish they were there to celebrate the moments with you. But you don't realize they actually are. They're rooting for you. They're guiding you. They're protecting you. You have to have faith in the powers that be. A lot of times we feel like, somebody's trying to hurt us, or somebody's trying to guide us off track. But you have to understand, have faith in the unknown. If they already know that you're going to succeed in this, trust and believe me, you got all the armor of God behind you. So nobody can't do nothing if you're already you're appointed and anointed. They're protecting you in all ways, but you have to be able to allow yourself to go through that with no fear pressed in your heart, because everything is supposed to be where it's supposed to be, and you're exactly where you need to be. So I hope you are able to resonate with the content in this video. Let me give a post notification shout out to BB Butler, Learning to Love with Laura Ora, and as well as Mike Latimer. Much love to you as well. Like and subscribe, hit that button for notifications, so you know when I'm going to upload my next video. Y'all, my energy is shifting, so if my face is changing colors right now in different light, because everything's shifting right now really major in front of me, so I feel all the energy shifts. Like and subscribe, share, drop a line, let me know if you understood, or if you even resonate, chime in for me. I would love to give you a post notification shout out. If you're new, welcome. If you've been here for a while, thank you for continuing to support me as well as my videos, and being able to be a part of your journey as you are a part of mine. It's truly appreciating. So if you want to get in touch with me privately, and you want to talk to me about your spiritual situation, and you're trying to just find clarity throughout that, I'll try my best to help you. You can find me on the Book of Faces. Look my name up. Whatever you talk about there is completely confidential. Just tell me, hey Roslynn, I connect with you on the Heyokas videos, or even YouTube. Can I talk to you about this? And let it be serious too, because there's a lot of people be hitting me up saying, they want to get to know me and all. I'm like, I ain't trying to get all that way. I'm just networking, and I'm helping. I'm doing no trying to get to know nobody on no that kind of level, but I'm just trying to help people just basically find their way through the craziness of chaos. So yeah, you can hit me there. Whatever we talk about is private. Let it be serious inquiries, please. Like and subscribe, share, give me a thumbs up, tell somebody about the channel, they may find interest in it. um and know you're truly blessed, highly favored, and forever loved, and knowing there's always there's always somebody praying for your better days. And I pray that everything that you're trying to manifest into your life comes 100,000 times more than what you anticipated or asked for, and it comes way sooner than you expected it to. And I will see you on my next video. Much love to you. Peace and be well.